Podcast City Network.
Listener discretion is advised.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show. A shot of entertainment to the head. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the entertainment.
Welcome, everyone, to the Everett Lee Show podcast. I'm Everett Lee. Quick shout out to everyone who follows me on Twitter. You can follow me at the Everett _Lee, Facebook.com/the Everett Lee. Click that thumbs up. And, of course, Podcast City Network, official host of the Everett Lee Show podcast. Well, I'm back again at it this week. Last week, I think I streamed myself out. 4 days of streaming. 2 episodes of Everett Lee Show back-to-back last Wednesday and Thursday. Then we had the Deleted Wrestling Podcast with the Chris Rose on Friday. And then, of course, the Shenanigans and the Late Night Radio Talk with David C. Russell, Deathmatch Wrestle Podcast happened on Saturday night, which was pretty crazy. And by that time, Sunday morning, I was done. I was done streaming. But I'm back at it again here. Hope everyone's enjoying it. There's a lot going on, and there's going to be a lot going on in this podcast. I have none other than wrestler from Girl Fight Club and Grindhouse Wrestling. I'm probably saying that wrong. Don't got my notes up, but I want to welcome to the program Billie Starkz. How you doing?
Hi. I love how you said Girl Fight Club, but it's actually Girl Fight Wrestling.
I did Girl Fight Club. I was watching Fight Club today. I was watching that. Well, actually, not today. I think it was last night or yesterday. I was watching that. So I screw up. I think that's a part of who I am. I'm bad with pronunciation. I'm bad with spelling. So some people sometimes think I just do it just to get a kick. You know, you get those friends and people that you know that do stuff to get kicks out of people.
Yeah.
They usually think I'm that though, but and what I think what's funny is I'm sincere about it, and they're like, no, it's wrong. I'm like, whoops. But you having a good night on this Wednesday night?
Yeah, I just finished training, so I just got home, and my body's feeling like crap, but I had a really good day, and training went well.
That's good. Whereabouts did you grow up at, if you don't mind me asking?
So I'm from Louisville, and I started training at Grindhouse Pro. My 1-year anniversary is actually coming up, October 13th, and that day I'm finally going to debut at Lucha Bizarro.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. You've been watching wrestling for a while. When did you first start watching wrestling? When did you get into watching it?
Like, I first started watching wrestling on television when I was around 4 or 5 with my stepdad Mouse. We would just lay on the couch and watch Raw or SmackDown. Mouse was always like obsessed with wrestling, and that kind of got passed on to me. I saw like my first live event when I was around 5. It was D1W in Charlestown. I don't know why, but I've always loved it, like watching it and doing it now.
Wow. That's cool. That's cool. Watching at that age, I have a 2-year-old daughter, and she'll sit there on the couch with me, and we'll watch WWE pay-per-views. If Raw is on or SmackDown Live, she'll sit right there and watch it with me, and she loves when the girls are wrestling. She loves it. She gets really excited.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Do you ever think she's gonna become a wrestler?
Maybe one day. I mean, if she pursues it, if she gets older and she decides she wants to do it, I'll let her pursue it, and I'll support her 100% because that's what she wants to do. If she says to me, Daddy, I'm going to become a wrestler. Okay, how are you going to go about it? And I'll support you any way I can. That's how supportive I'll be.
Aw.
Yeah, I just want her. I want her to have and do what I've never had. I want her to have opportunities and do things that maybe I've never had. But if she gets opportunities and proceeds and does her dreams and stuff, I'm happy with that, and I'll support her because I just love her to death.
Aw.
So she could be a pain. She's going through terrible twos right now, but other than that, she's really affectionate and loving, and she really knows what the word no means. She does. I think that's her favorite word. I get her up for daycare in the morning. You want to go to daycare? No. You want something to eat? No.
Sounds like me.
But yeah, she ever decides she wants to pursue being a wrestler when she gets older, I'm going to support her 100%. And I tease and say that she was going to be the next Ronda Rousey when she gets older because she has a strong right. I fell to it a couple times by accident, just a horse playing and stuff. But yeah, I would love that. I'd love that if she did. But if she pursues whatever she pursues, I'll support her.
Good fathering right there.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Now, watching wrestling growing up and watching it on TV and going to events and live shows, when did you decide, you said to yourself, I want to do this. I want to get in the ring. I want to be a wrestler. When did you decide you wanted to do that?
I can't really remember like the exact time when I was like, oh, I want to be a wrestler, but like I remember someone like my parents or one of my teachers asking what I wanted to be when I grow up. And it was between an artist, because I love drawing and painting, and then I, of course, said ice cream truck driver, because like who doesn't like ice cream? And then finally I said a wrestler, and that's what I've stuck to for like ever, because it's like what I've never lost my love for, because like I've always loved wrestling, and I could like haven't been able to ever let that go.
It's a passion. It's a dream, and it's cool that you're pursuing it. And from the matches I watched in the ring with you, with you in the ring, I could tell that you're in there having a good time, and you love doing it. Growing up watching wrestling, who did you watch on TV? Who inspired you?
Like, my favorite wrestler on WWE and, like, NXT when I was growing up was, like, Baliey, because of like, how she, like, presented herself and, like, how you could tell she was happy to be there, like, no matter what she was doing. And that also, like, in the ring, how she was also, like, so aggressive, but at the same time, like, being able to entertain the crowd and still keeping her happy persona.
Yeah, she's great at doing that. When she was starting out in NXT, NXT would come here in Daytona Beach and do live shows, and me and my wife would go. And one day they had a meet and greet with Baliey, and that's when she was just about to become NXT Women's Champion. She was on that run trying to get the title. I believe Charlotte was still in NXT and Sasha Banks, but they did a meet and greet, and I got to meet Baliey, and I told her, I was like, you're great, appreciate everything you do in the ring, and just love seeing where you go. And at that same show, I got to meet Becky Lynch before she got big, and Alexa Bliss when she was first starting out. And I believe it was Becky and Alexa before they got on TV. I got to see them wrestle before they got on NXT TV, which is amazing, man. It's amazing. But yeah, Baliey, she can entertain and have fun at the same time, and she hit that switch and just go, man, just go. Did you enjoy I think it was Takeover 2 in Brooklyn, her and Sasha Banks for the NXT Women's Championship?
Yeah, that was amazing. Like, you could see, like, a whole different switch, like, click, where they both were, like, going at it, and it was like, this is why I love wrestling.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can definitely see that. I mean, just everything with what they did all the way to the finishes, the false finishes, and then Baliey capturing the NXT title. That was so emotional, man. It was such a journey. Everybody was hanging on in just every moment of that. They were on that ride with during that match, and it was fantastic. It definitely was fantastic. What
another like story I have about like Baliey was like when me and my family like went down to Florida just to hang out for a weekend and enjoy wrestling. We went to one of the NXT shows that they were having, and at that time my wrist was like broken and I had a cast on. And at that time Baliey also had a cast on her hand, and she was going around the ring, and she came to me, and we both had cast on, so she signed my cast and I signed hers, and that was like one of the experiences I like really loved and enjoyed.
Oh, nice. That's cool. I like that. I like that right there. That's pretty awesome. You sign her cast and she signed yours. Do you still have that cast?
So like we kept it for like the longest time, and then my mom was like, "Yeah, this is disgusting. It has all your gross dead skin. I'm getting rid of this." And we were all so sad about it. I was like, "I want to keep it."
You didn't try like cut off the part where she signed it and just save?
We like saved like the whole cast, where like when they cut it off of my arm, and it was just disgusting from having it on for so long.
Oh.
Just kept the whole thing, and my mom was like, "Yeah, this is not happening."
But you're like, "Mom, Baliey signed it. We gotta keep it. I'll disinfect it every day." I know there's like crazy people out there that would like take something like that and put it up on eBay. You know, it's like not like, you know, just living that moment and like enjoy that of having something like that there. But that's pretty cool. I definitely do like that there. I definitely do like that. Now, being a wrestler, going around and working for promotions, watching your matches on YouTube, and I noticed you work for a lot of promotions, some promotions, or a lot. What promotions do you work for, or have worked for?
I've worked for Grindhouse Pro, where I originally was trained, and then Girl Fight and St. Louis Anarchy, both which I like consider like my homes and love wrestling there. And then I worked Black Label in August and would love to go back there. And I've worked Making Towns and Crux Wrestling, and then recently I just got home from Alabama working New Level Pro. Oh,
nice. I noticed there were some matches on there with New Level Pro, and didn't you capture their women's championship?
Yeah, so like it was my first time in Alabama and wrestling for New Level Pro, and it was really shocking because like Kenzie Page, who was the former women's championship, was like not even in the match, and she was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna enter myself in this match now." And like from there, we had a really good match, and it was a triple threat, and I ended up winning the title that night, my first night in. And then the other IFHY boys, who are a tag team, Wolf and Kemp, also won the tag team belts there the same night.
Oh, nice. I'm gonna have to look that up there. I'm gonna have to look more into that. Going to take a quick break and give a shout out to the sponsors of Podcast City Network.
The following support and sponsor Podcast City Network. City Limits Tap Room, sports bar in DeLand, Florida, has brew on tap, serve food, the grilled cheese is excellent. For upcoming events, check out City Limits Tap Room on Facebook.com/City Limits Tap Room. Morph Tee, a comfortable and lightweight 100% polyester t-shirt with illustrated morph characters that, when worn, will make the illustrations seem to come to life. For more of Tony Rodriguez's work, you can see his full line of apparel at teespring.com. Sports Sanity Customs have worked with organizations from custom embroidering polo shirts to jerseys for your kids' baseball team. They do it all. Armed with state-of-the-art equipment and an in-house design team, they are equipped to take on your next project. Visit their website to learn more, sportsanitycustoms.com. Visit Sports Sanity Customs on Facebook.com/SportsSanityCustoms. 3Count Design offers a wide range of graphic design products, video, photography and other forms of media. Everything from t-shirt designs to websites. Visit Facebook.com/3CountDesign for more. Demo Blast Studios, an explosion of imagination. Original artwork, podcasts, video, apparel and more. Visit DemoBlastStudios.com. Visit Demoblast Studios on Facebook.com/DemoBlastStudios, the best family entertainment pro wrestling show in the state of Kentucky. Kentucky's Own Wrestling brings quality family vintage wrestling to a town near you. Kentucky's Own Wrestling offers a ladies division in wrestling and a training school. Kentucky's Own Wrestling is the current longest running Southern promotion. Visit Facebook.com/Somerset Kentucky's Own Wrestling. All supporters and sponsors are brought to you by Podcast City Network.
You're listening to The Everett Lee Show.
Speaking of matches, I mentioned before we went live tonight that I checked out some of your matches. I put down 3 I have right here, right in front of me. And I was telling you that what I enjoyed about them and stuff, and if you can elaborate a little bit on these matches. Lily Lockhart, the match you had against Lily Lockhart.
She's literally one of the sweetest people I've met through wrestling, and she's so nice to everyone, and she's so helpful. She really is trying her best. I wish she got out more.
Mm-hmm.
She just really hasn't gotten the chance yet, but she's one of the nicest girls I've ever got to wrestle.
Nice. And then there was Megan Moxley.
I believe I worked her at Resolute in Tennessee. She was one of the really nice ladies I got to meet, and we put on a great match, and I had a lot of great policies for her, and then she was able to do everything with me, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was telling you I enjoyed that the finish right there, because the way that was ending right there with the finish, that right there, I don't even know what you would call it, but it was it looked like a reverse pile driver.
Yeah, so what I call is the boat driver.
Uh-huh.
So it's a joke that I say boat all the time, and it's a driver, so I called it the boat driver, and it is kind of a reverse tombstone or something like that.
Yeah, the way the camera angle was set on that right there, the way you were positioned and stuff, it looked like it was painful, man. I was wow, because I thought you were gonna go for an Alabama Slam. I'm because that's one of my favorite moves right there, Alabama Slam, because you just boom, you just slam them and the opponent just bounces off that mat right there. I just love the effect of that, and I thought you were going for that, and then when you went to that, I was wow, didn't expect that right there. That was a good finish. That was a good finish. I really did enjoy that. And I did check out the match you had with Charlie Cruel right there, which ended in a pretty shocking fashion with the title on the line right there. You tell me about that match.
So I really cannot remember which match that is, because I've had so many matches with Charlie, because my first year into wrestling, we both were trained at Grindhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So she was like the only other girl there, so I worked her so much that we were like, for the first year of wrestling, that's who I worked all the time. And I can't remember which match that was. I'm sorry, but I can't. My brain's farting.
That's fine. So both of you were the only two female wrestlers in that promotion at that time?
Yeah, at that time. We got a few more girls now, but it was just like a lot, like there's like in wrestling there's a lot more guys than women, so like at our promotion we were the only two girls for like the longest time. Wow.
Did you you and her do any like intergender mixed tag matches while you're during that time too?
We did like a few. We did one where it was me and Aaron LaMotta versus Charlie and Zachary Pittman at Grindhouse.
Okay. I'll have to look that up there. I do when I in between when talking with a lot of talent, a lot of workers and wrestlers, I end up going through and looking, and I do like the catalog that's on there, and it's pretty good that of the selection of matches there, and those three I mentioned, I just went ahead and just picked on them and watched them, and I enjoyed them, and I can't wait to see what you do next in the ring. Can't wait to see what you do. But talk about being in the ring. WWE, NXT, New Japan Wrestling, ROH, and AEW. Out of any one of those promotions, who would you like to get in the ring with from any one of those promotions?
There's like so many different people and so many great wrestlers out of like all of those promotions. But like I personally, I would love to wrestle like Tommaso Ciampa or Adam Cole from NXT, or like even Candice LeRae. I have a t-shirt of hers with her face just covered in blood that I used to wear all the time until my mom just told me I'm not allowed to wear it at school because it was not appropriate. And then I would also like love to work Orange Cassidy because like I'm always entertained every time he wrestles. And if you watch some of his older stuff, you can see where like he developed his character over time, and that's like helped me a lot with character development and that stuff.
Right.
And I also would love to work Marco Stunt because he's like one of my buddies, and I'm so proud of everything he's doing.
Oh, Marco Stunt. Yeah, he's been making some appearance there in AEW and All Elite Wrestling. What's your take on All Elite Wrestling coming to the wrestling scene? What is your take on that?
I just feel like it's a new promotion for everybody to work and have great matches and entertain people.
It is. They're gonna be debuting next month on TNT, and I know like tonight NXT is debuted on the USA Network, and the same night that AEW is going to be on TV. I mean, don't you think this is a Monday Night War 2.0? I mean, really now, because they weren't gonna do anything to compete. They're like just like how WWE would handle Impact when they first came on the scene. They just didn't really say or do much with them.
I just think like AEW starting is just giving people more chances to watch wrestling. I feel like the more wrestling available to people, the better the wrestling is, because that's the more connections people are having and the more people are seeing wrestling and being able to enjoy it.
Yeah. With what CM Punk said at StarCast during AEW All Out, the weekend of that, CM Punk says you got so much wrestling, you can sit back and you can enjoy it. You get to watch it all, and he's right about that. I do have to agree that there's a lot of content out there, and there's so much wrestling that you can enjoy it. You can enjoy it from everywhere, and you can enjoy AEW. You can watch NXT, WWE, ROH. You can watch it all, and just enjoy it. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do each and every week to elevate the talent there. And everyone's going to be stepping it up in some shape or form, which I think is going to be nice. I do. But
I'm excited.
I am too.
There's more wrestling available. It's easier for people to see new stuff and like get new ideas from each other.
Oh yeah, it is, because it puts everyone on their game, because it makes everyone do better. It's like what I believe what Steve Austin or Triple H or The Rock said back during the Attitude Era. Everyone was on fire, and everyone elevated each other to bring it up, to fire on all cylinders. And that was a great time right there for wrestling during the Monday Night Wars. And we'll get to see it again in a different shape or form with NXT and AEW on Wednesday nights. But speaking of WWE, SmackDown Live moving to Friday nights. Man, how do you feel about that?
One more time, I'm sorry.
SmackDown Live heading to Friday nights. How do you feel about that right there, with them jumping over to Fox on Friday night?
I feel like it's going to be great for people to be able to watch it and have a new day to watch it on, because I feel like people a lot on Tuesdays nights are like very busy and don't have time. Right.
It's a good way to kick off the weekend with watching SmackDown Live. I mean, years ago it was on Thursday night, and then it was on Friday night for the longest time, and then they moved it back to Thursdays, and then in the last few 2 or 3 years here, then it stayed on Tuesday nights, because SmackDown was recorded on Tuesday nights. Why not do it live on Tuesday? So that's something right there, because I know they were on Sci-Fi Network, and you go on Sci-Fi to watch cheesy horror or science fiction, and then all of a sudden you got wrestling on there. So it had to go somewhere. It had to go. I mean, USA Network, I think it was the best move, because Monday Night Raw has been on there for so long. But Friday night SmackDown Live on Friday nights. That's gonna be great. You see the promo for it, the commercial?
I don't think so.
Nah, it's at the beginning of it. It has this guy like in a restaurant. He's a waiter, and he sees Steve Austin sitting there, and he drops the tray, and it shatters like glass. And there's some like cello and violin players there playing music, and they stop, and then all of a sudden they start playing Austin's theme on the cello. And he shakes his head. He says, "Hell yeah!"
That sounds amazing. I need to see this now.
Yeah, you pull it up on YouTube there. When you get time. The promo, I enjoyed it, because it makes me want to watch it. After the first few times, I'm like, yeah, I definitely want to check out Friday Night SmackDown now because of this here. But they add so much other stuff to it, which is humorous, and it hypes you up for it, which I think is great. I do think it's great. Anyone starting out in wrestling, what advice would you give them? If someone asked you for any advice starting out in wrestling, what would you tell them?
Honestly, just have drive and want to do this, and you will need to travel and hop in cars. If you ever look at Mouse's Twitter, he's always screaming about it all the time. Kids don't hop in the cars. They're not wanting this. Have better drive. But people just need to get together and make a carload and go to shows, help tear down, set up, and be helpful, and be there, because that's how you get booked. And I want people to be happy and enjoy wrestling, Because if you're not being happy and enjoying wrestling, this is just not the life for you.
Right. That's good advice right there. That's good advice. And I will say right here that what you said about putting up the ring, taking down the ring, that's something I heard from a veteran a few weeks ago, was explaining to me about, we were talking about some talent, and he mentioned that, and that's an excellent mindset right there, Billy. I got respect for you. That's good. I like that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And speaking of going to events and driving up the road and going to events, what upcoming events do you have for yourself?
So I have Grindhouse next big show this Saturday. And then I have True Privilege the 28th, 01 in October, where I'm wrestling Reign Victoria for their title. And then October 11th, I'm on Fright Night, which is in the Jefferson Arena. And then October 13th, I'll be at Bizarro Lucha.
Okay. You said October 11th. That's my. I hate to say this on air. This is my birthday. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff happening on my birthday this year, and usually nothing happens. And this year, all of a sudden, everything happens. I don't even know where to begin on what to do. But actually, yeah, I think I'll be in Tennessee during that weekend. So getting away from it all.
Fun.
Yeah. That's where I go. I like to go once a year just to get away from it all. Just to wind down. It's like go up there for a few days or about a week, and basically recharge myself, come back, and just get into it again.
I think I'm going to actually be there, be in Tennessee after October 11th for TWE. It's on Saturday, I believe.
On Saturday? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then there's an event on November 27th, Midnight Girl Fight 4, Pick Your Poison. Could you tell me about that?
So basically, Pick Your Poison is going to be a tag team tournament, intergender tag teams. So all the Girl Fight girls are choosing one guy to tag with and are going to compete in this tournament to see who wins.
Oh, nice. Who do you have for your partner, or are you wanting to surprise people with?
I can't say that yet, but it will later be announced.
Okay. I forgot to give it a try there. Try to find out.
One of my other ISHY members are in the tournament. Alley Cat's going to be teaming with Sean Kemp, and they're going to be Cat Dog, which is going to be amazing, but I'm also going to kick their butts because I'm totally winning this tournament.
Nice. If I was there, I'd be cheering you all the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I definitely would be cheering you all the way. But speaking of Tennessee again, yeah, I be going up around the Knoxville area. You ever been up that way before there? Do any matches and wrestled for any promotions around that area there?
I think I'm gonna go to Kapow soon.
Okay. Yeah, when I moved away, I lived up there for about 11 years. When I moved away, I didn't realize there was wrestling around there. I didn't realize that, and until I got back down here to Florida, and I was like, really? I was up there all that time, and I didn't know about, wrestling right around there, because I guess I didn't really look for it at the time, or I had anyway. So I mean. But it's good that getting the internet, getting on YouTube, and watching matches and just watching independent wrestling, because independent wrestling's on fire and I love it, and And again, I enjoy everything that you do with the matches that I've seen, and I can't wait to check out more of Billie Starkz. And speaking of checking more out of yourself, where can people find you on social media at?
So on Instagram, it's Billie, BILLIE _Starkz, STARKZ. And then on Twitter, it's Billie Starkz, no underscore. And then on Facebook, it's Billie Starkz with a Z. Nice.
Excellent. I want to thank you for coming on here tonight and chatting with me, and it's been great. I've enjoyed it.
No problem. I've had fun.
Thank you. I've had fun too. And before I wrap up the podcast here real quick, I do want to mention that Podcast C Network is your top source for independent podcasting. Be sure to check more Podcast C Network out on podcastcity.net, Facebook, Podcast C Network, and on Twitter at podcastcitynet. Subscribe to Podcast C Network on YouTube, Podcast C Network, and over on their Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Podcast City Network. And
gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
For more of The Everett Lee Show on social media, follow and like The Everett Lee Show on Facebook, The Everett Lee Show, Twitter, at The Everett_Lee, Instagram, Everett Lee Show. Audio versions of this podcast and previously released podcast can be found on everettleeshow.podbean.com. Stitcher Radio, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. Apple Podcast, The Everett Lee Show, give a rating and comment. YouTube, The Everett Lee Show, subscribe to the channel. The Everett Lee Show, your shot of entertainment to the head.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in and listening to The Everett Lee Show. And we'll see you again next week for another episode of The Everett Lee Show.